When it comes to successfully treating arthritis in dogs and cats, there's far more involved than simply giving them some supplements or chucking them some painkillers every now and then. And it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. The fact is that a few simple changes in your pet's lifestyle or how you're managing them could make all the difference with them living as happy and comfortable a life as possible. That actually means that they live longer as well. Hi, I'm Dr. Alex from ourpetshealth.com, where my aim is to help you and your dog and cat live as healthy and happy a life as possible. And treating arthritis successfully in dogs and cats is just one of my 5 pet health essentials that you can find in my free guide linked on screen now. And we can break the treatment of arthritis down into 7 main areas. And the first of these is simply to keep your pet as healthy a weight as possible. Being overweight and obesity is a huge problem. It affects about 60% of our pet dogs and cats, and it has a massive impact on comfort in arthritic pets. In fact, the impact is so great that we know as little as a 6% weight loss can dramatically improve your pet's comfort, so that if they are carrying a little bit too much weight, focusing on shifting a few pounds can make all the difference. Now, tied into this at number 2 is nutrition. Now, feeding your pet a good quality, age-appropriate diet is really important, but actually one of the best things that we can do when it comes to supplementation, and I'll discuss other supplements later, is to actually feed a joint-specific diet. So they contain a number of different things that help reduce weight gain and actually optimize for weight loss. They help to maintain muscle mass and shift fat. They also contain a mix of essential fatty acids. So that's our omega-3 fatty acids that have an anti-inflammatory effect and can improve the comfort of your pet. The next step in successfully treating arthritis is environmental modification, and it's not as complicated as it sounds. It simply means if you've got slippy floors in your house, put down a few non-slip rugs or runners so that your pet isn't slipping and sliding everywhere. Make sure your cat can easily get to their food and their litter tray. Make sure that they're not having to navigate lots of steps. Help your dog into the car. Don't let them jump out of the car. Make sure they've got comfortable bedding in a warm, draft-free area. Thinking hard about how the environment can impact your pet and taking a few simple, cheap steps can make a huge difference. Every little step really does add up. A lot of owners start giving supplements quite early in the disease, especially when they're first noticing the signs of arthritis in their dog or cat. Unfortunately though, we often rely far too much on different supplements, and there are some good ones that do have some evidence behind them, but there's a lot of rubbish out there that really has no proven benefit in the treatment of arthritis in dogs and cats. Now, the best ones, as I've already touched on, are our omega-3 fatty acids. That's our fish oils. Now, you might see that as cod liver oil, krill oil, green lip mussel. They all contain a rich source of omega-3 fatty acids that's proven to reduce the inflammation and improve comfort in arthritic pets. If you're thinking about something like flaxseed oil, unfortunately, while that is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, they're a type that can't get broken down by our pets into a usable form. So really, they're not as beneficial as we would like. If we think of things like elk horn, shark cartilage, all kinds of other different supplements out there, again, those are completely unproven and are likely doing nothing for your pet. But even the best supplement in the world isn't going to be enough to keep your dog or your cat comfortable as their arthritis progresses. So you shouldn't think that because you're giving supplements, you're doing all you can. Up next is exercise management. Now, clearly exercise is still very important. You want to make sure that your pet stays mobile, their joints don't seize up, and that their muscle mass is maintained and doesn't just waste away to nothing. But like I mentioned when it came to environmental modification, we want to avoid really high impact activities. So make sure that you're not overdoing it. Your pet isn't having to do too much. They're not chasing after a ball, which puts them through all kinds of stress and strains when they're rapidly accelerating, stopping, turning. Try and make sure that they're not jumping. When you're taking them out for a walk, short and regular is much better than long and occasional. Up next is complementary therapies, and that ties into exercise management because the most common ones here are physiotherapy or hydrotherapy. So they're designed to help maintain muscle mass, which helps stabilize joints. It helps keep your pet mobile and supple and reduces inflammation. There are a lot of other alternative therapies that are again unproven. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things out there that will claim huge benefits, but they'll rely on unreliable testimonials, and there's actually no hard data to show there's a benefit to them in the treatment of arthritis. And then we've got pain-killing medication. Now, make no mistake, giving your pet an anti-inflammatory painkiller gives them the best chance of living a pain-free, happy life. Now, there are a few important steps that we need to take when we're giving painkillers. We need to make sure that they are generally in good health, that their kidneys are not struggling, that their liver is working well. We need to monitor them closely for side effects, and we need to make sure that we're giving the right dose at the right interval. But for the vast majority of cases, there's going to be no problem, and your pet is probably not going to be any different. Now, if a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory isn't appropriate, and there are cases where that is the case, then there are other painkillers that we can give. Things like gabapentin, amantadine, paracetamol in dogs, but definitely not cats. And don't be afraid of giving several drugs if that's what's needed to keep your pet as happy and comfortable as possible, especially if you're taking all of these other steps to do exactly that. And then once you've got your treatment plan in place, you need to monitor, modify, maintain. So you need to monitor for the effect that it's having, you need to modify it if it's not having the effect that you want it to, and then maintain the treatment that you're giving. Don't think because everything's working you can slacken off. Arthritis is a progressive disease, and unfortunately it's going to get worse with time rather than better. So the chances are you're going to need to ramp up your treatment at some point in the future. Now, if you want to dive into each of these topics in more detail, I've got a free arthritis course, and I'll leave the link on screen now, so definitely check that out. I've got another arthritis video on screen as well you can click on to watch. But until next time, I'm Dr. Alex. This is Our Pets Health, because they're family.